Thank you so much for turning your cameras on. Welcome to chair yoga. So today our focus is to expand our rib cage area, the movement in our rib cage, so that we can take in more oxygen, more life force energy, right? That prana. So we're going to start with our feet flat on the floor, sit tall, find a comfortable mountain position. Close your eyes or look at the floor and breathe. When we slow the breath, breathe mindfully, be patient with the breath, we start to calm our mind and the central nervous system. So the first thing we want to do before we start class is always connect with the breath. It really is the most important thing we can do. And even if we just sat here for the whole next hour breathing, we would be doing something really beneficial for our bodies. So when else in your day are you 100% focused on your breathing? Really, we go through our day and don't focus on it at all. It's just something that happens without a lot of attention, right? But when we bring our awareness to the breath, it just instinctively starts to slow down. Now, as we breathe, let's place our hands on our rib cage, because if we're taking what we call diaphragmatic breath, first of all, your diaphragm is here within the rib cage, and then the muscles between the ribs, the diaphragm and the intercostals, they work together. So if you think about the breath entering through the nose, traveling all the way down to the lowest lobes of the lungs, when that happens, your lungs will press down on the diaphragm. The diaphragm presses on the abdominals, the belly rises. And then we inhale, abdominals pull in and up. We press back up on the diaphragm, and then the ribs, start to expand and contract. So let's feel that, right? So inhale, feel the breath. As you fill up the lungs, the rib cage should start to open and expand, right? And then exhale, feel them collapse underneath your hands. If you're not feeling a whole lot of movement, there's a likelihood that that fascia, that connective tissue, is tight around that area. So we just want to make sure we're filling up. Deep breath. Are you feeling the rib cage open and expand like little wings under your hands? And then exhale, let it all collapse again underneath your hands. So as we age, and if we're not moving, this area can become very, very stiff and tight. And if we're stiff and tight, it's much harder to move these muscles within the ribs. It's hard to move the fascia that surrounds the ribs. And even connective tissue can get bunched up in between the ribs. So the focus is on the rib cage today. If I asked you how many joints you have in your rib cage, how many would you guess? Think about a number. Just kind of run your hands around your ribs. Feel what that's comprised of there. How many joints do you think are there? Believe it or not, there are 100 joints in your rib cage because they connect at the middle, they connect in the back, and they connect to each other. So 100 joints. And when we breathe, we want to be mindful of creating space. So breathe and expand the rib cage, make some space in those ribs. And now exhale, release. So I want you to think of your rib cage as a wicker basket, right? That can move out and in. And think about your rib cage moving front to back and side to side, like there's a balloon inflating and deflating there. This is very important because if we don't work on this area and it's very tight and restricted, it's going to not only restrict our movement patterns, it will affect our posture, it will affect the amount of space that your organs have within the rib cage. That's their job, right? It's to protect all of those internal organs so they're not so open and exposed. So use your breath. Take 2 big breaths into the rib cage, and throughout the day, feel your rib cage broaden and stretch. especially in the back. Good. Now, hands to your lap, sit up tall. We're going to keep that deepest breath, but lower our chin now down toward the chest. So we are lengthening the spine. We're opening up the neck. Just pause here. Feel that stretch, that sensation, and roll your right ear over the shoulder and then the left. So warm up here first, just breathing. Good, breathe and not force anything, just be nice and gentle. Good job, take this back and forth. And the next time the right ear's over the shoulder, take the left hand and reach toward the floor. And then your right hand, if you would like, can come behind your ear. So your hand is on the head and it's just this really small pressure. It's not going to pull the ear down. And then internally and externally rotate your shoulder. Good. So take it back and forth. Nice. Just roll that wrist and elbow, rotate the shoulder socket. Take it forward and back, this palm, forward and back. Elbows nice and straight, feel it in the neck, feel everything loosening up, and then both hands to your lap, roll your chin through center, left ear over, and then right arm reaches down toward the floor. So really feel that stretch, and then maybe your left hand comes. It doesn't have to, but if you feel like you want a little more stretch, just let it rest there, and then go ahead and take the arm internally and externally in the socket. So it's rotating from the shoulder socket, not just the wrist, right? Be gentle with that. Good job. Now we're going to switch this to the other side. So roll the right ear over, take the right hand back, left arm back to the side. And now this time, as you roll, nod your head. So turn your head up and down and explore as you roll it. Maybe take it side to side. So you could say yes and no with your head while you loosen up those shoulder muscles. Just play around with that head placement. Good. A lot of these muscles in the fascia gets bound around each other. So we want to loosen it up with movement. Nice. Now let's take it to the other side. So left ear over, left hand to the back of the head, right arm out. Start rotating again your shoulder forward and back and lift and lower your head. So your ears over your shoulder and then turn it side to side. So you're making that movement where those muscle fibers that bind around each other unbind. And you're going to get greater range of motion and just feel much better there. Good. Ooh, notice how that feels. And then right back through center and interlace behind your head and press your hands into your head and your head into your hands. Yeah. Just really think about the neck getting stronger. So chin's neutral. Good. Press your head back into your hands, strengthening those neck muscles. Another breath. Keep those arms right there, elbows back a little bit more. And then keep the head where it is and arms reach, open and close with the palms face down. Spread the fingers wide and grip, and then flip the palms up. Good job. And then while we're here, wrist circles round and round. And notice if you feel a little clicking and popping in your wrists, that means we need more movement, more lubrication. Roll both directions. Maybe move through your fingers too while we're here. Just get everything moving. And then relax that back down and roll those shoulders up, back and around. Good. Maybe elbows coming too. Explore what feels best for you today. Okay, so fascia is the netting that covers us from the crown of our head to the tips of our toe. Every part of our body has connective tissue. It holds everything in place. But we want it to get lubricated. So let's go ahead. 2 ways we can lubricate our connective tissue. One is by moving and the other is by drinking water. So drink your water. Okie dokie. So we want to bring that fluid into our body. Now, one thing we're going to do is, let's go ahead and take this off. Find an area of our body that can get very, very tight, stiff, and dehydrated. and that is a place at the elbow. So I've got my right elbow, and there's a little side bone and the major bone. This is a hinge joint. You can hinge back and forth, right? So find that major bone in the middle. And then do you feel two little like side bones off to the side? Yeah. So right here, find that little side bone, and there's a divot, like a little valley, and then the bigger bone. Go in between the little bone and the big bone, right in that divot, and kind of massage around in there. This is often dehydrated tissue, right? So we need more movement and lubricate it. So we're going to take kind of a strange movement. I'd just like for you to take your arm out and then twist at your wrist. So hinge at your elbow, twist at your wrist there, twirl around. I know it's a bit of a strange angle, but we're getting that tendon. Do you feel that right in between? You can go both directions, just move it back and forth. Strange angle, but we want to get fluid into the connective tissue so the elbow area doesn't feel quite so stiff. Good. Okay, now let's go to the other elbow. So you've got the main bone and then this little bone off to the side. Go right in between those two, and it feels, you know, maybe a little uncomfortable because it's dehydrated. So move it back and forth and move your wrist around. Good. I know it's an odd movement, but when we change the vectors, the angles, we're getting into that tight space. Yeah, just get a little bit more movement in there. It's this tight violin string. We go sideways into it. If it's too tight, it gets dehydrated and kind of crunchy. Good. So move around in there. Now take the fist up and down. Good. That probably feels good. Stretching those tendons. Stretch and change the angles. Just move it around. So those of you with like tennis elbow issues, do that movement. Move the arm back and forth. Move your hand. Yeah. And then shake your hands. Shake your feet. Awesome job. And then swing those arms forward and back. Good work. Forward and back. All right. Now let's crisscross our arms right at the armpit. We can do this every day. Remember, forearm limp. Nice. Now, the eagle pose, it boosts immunity. So we're going to take the left arm over and hug. Everybody's hugging. All right. So what I want you to do is twist. Your head stays center and just twist side to side. Good. So we want to move the twist in the torso, not your head. So find a focal point straight ahead or on the floor ahead of you so that the arms are twisting side to side, but the head is in center. Now the head's not moving, the rib cage moves. Remember those 100 joints there in the rib cage? People with tight necks, you might really feel this. So you can move your neck to stretch it, and sometimes it's better actually to move the lower appendages, right? So just go side to side there, just like this. Nice. Now keep your hands on your hips, keep your head center, and rotate side to side, turning those shoulders. Good. Actually stretching through the neck, even though we're not moving the neck, you're stretching it. Good. You're stretching the connective tissue. Nice. The muscles that connect into the stretch. All right, arms back out. We're going to take the right elbow over the left. Good job. Give a little hug. And then wrap your arms around if you're able. Fingertips out and up. Give a good stretch to your upper back. Breathe into the upper back. Good job. Take a deep breath. Lift and lower the elbows now. Nice. So this uses those shoulder blades in the back. You've got it. Excellent. Now go ahead and take your left leg, cross it over two, and lower. Let's round in, round the back, tuck the chin, Breathe, and then squeeze at the lymph nodes of the armpits. Good for the immune booster. Bow yourself forward, chin to the chest, round through your back. 2 deep breaths in between the shoulder blades, stretching where it's tight in the ribs. That helps loosen us up. Good job. Now come on up and take that eagle's wing. Good work. And we're going to take the left arm over the right. Go ahead and either hug, take it into the wrap, lift and lower your elbows, your fingertips. Just get everything moving in there nicely. Good. And then we'll cross the right leg over the left and have a little lean forward. Shoulders come forward, squeeze the shoulders and elbows, squeeze the length, the armpits, the groin, stretching that tight rib cage again. Couple of breaths, fill up the back, stretching the deltoids, shoulders, big breath in, exhale, soften. It's a big stretch for those ribs. That's what we're focusing on. Good job. Fill up, exhale. Nice job. And then come all the way up and shake it out. Untwist the arms and legs. There you go. Now, I want us to sit forward of our chair with our legs in our goddess position. And I want you to notice how you're sitting. How is your posture? Are you sitting on your 2 sit bones? Especially those of you who sit a little bit closer to your computer, I can tell if you're sitting on your sit bones or not, because if I were to come from the side of you especially, you could see that your ears are over your shoulders and your shoulders over the hips. But now I see you from straight on. If your shoulders are rounding forward, your head's coming forward and the tail scooped under, I can tell you're not on your sit bones. And that's how you can tell too. So let's all place our hands on our pelvis, and then you can find whether in your neutral pelvis or not. Tuck the tail under, like in that bucket seat, like a dog tucks its tail, and then swing those sit bones back. When we tuck under, we're in kyphosis. When we swing back, we're in what's called lordosis, where the low back arches too much. So kyphosis is where the thoracic spine is rounding forward of neutral. Lordosis is where you arch back out of neutral. So we don't want either one of those. It's okay if you're doing cat-cow to stretch, but you don't want to be there all day long. So let's see if we can find somewhere in between the 2. So keep rocking until you're no longer tucking or tilting. You're right in the center of that. That is sit bones. That's the sit bones you're sitting on. And that's how we want to sit, right? So nice and tall. Look how tall and straight you are. Good. And if someone were to come from the side of you, they'd see shoulders and ears lined up, and then shoulders and hips lined up. Now we can take our cat-cow. So hands to your knees. Inhale a little arch. Now you send those tail feathers back. Exhale, hands to your kneecaps and lean back. Good. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Nice. Now we're going to do 2 more like this. And after we finish the second one, I want you to find your neutral pelvis. So right now, neutral pelvis. Can you find it? Because once your pelvis is a neutral, then the spine lengthens up really tall. When our spines are tall, the rib cage is not collapsing down on all of those internal organs. So we want that rib cage in neutral as well. Now, both hands to our right hip crease. We're going to walk our hands to our knee and then lean, lean, lean. Keep that left sit bone on the chair, but peek at those toes so we get the stretch right here in our low back and in our hip. Good. Now reach and breathe. So open and close a fist there. Yeah. And then come all the way back up. Walk yourself back up. And then one more time, walk down that right thigh all the way to your knee. Left arm reaches, open and close a fist. And now we're going to sit up tall with your left hand that way, but come up and around in a big rainbow arc. Reach toward the floor with your fingernails. Watch your hand reach for the ceiling, and then come out across again and reach and open and close a fist. Good. Really lean and stretch that side body. And then sit up tall. Left arm's going to go up toward the ceiling and back behind us. Fingernails reach for the floor. Look over the left shoulder. And then back up toward the sky. And then reach out there, open and close. Good work. Now let's come all the way back up. A little walk over to this left thigh. Walk down the thigh. Both hands to the left knee, hinge forward and reach with your right arm, open and close. Feel that connective tissue. We're getting that fascia body around the ribs and the back and sides, especially to open up so we breathe deeper. Now sit up tall with that right arm, take it up, back and around. Reach toward those fingers toward the floor. Watch the rainbow arc. Lean at a diagonal and reach, just like there's something just outside of your reach. Reach and breathe. Reach and breathe. Good. And then again, sit up tall and back up and over through the rainbow arc. Good. Arms all the way up. One more time. Reach out there, open and close. So when we open and close the fist, it signals the fascia body to release a little bit more. Good work. Let's come back through center. So knees back in, and we're just going to march here a little bit, sitting tall, using our marches to lubricate our hips and release lymph through our bodies, get the circulation going. Good job. All kinds of benefits of the seated march. And then we're going to take our hands around our right knee, round in, so stretching the neck and the low back. Cervical spine to lumbar spine, knee to nose, stretch. Good, and release that foot to the floor. Hug your left knee in, tuck your chin to your chest, curl the tail under. Here's where we get that whole erector spinator, all the muscles that line the spine. And then we shake it all out. So shake those feet, shake your arms. All right. So we're going to take our claws for hand arthritis, our cat's claws. So we come out in front and then pull back in a tight grip. So that's our cat's claw. Bring it in tight. Good. Take those hands, reach out and then bring it in tight. Reach and bring it in. So there's something in yoga called lion's breath. And that's where you can kind of just get rid of stress. Just, it's kind of like a sigh, but you stick your tongue out and make like a roar. So if you have any kind of frustration, this is how we get rid of it. So we're going to take this in. Now when we go out, let's stick our tongue out and say, ah, and pull back in, and ah, in, one more, ah, and in. Good job. Shake it out. Oh, sometimes you just need a little lion's breath to get rid of that frustration. Okay, let's take those legs here out to the side. We want a little lateral bend. So we've got our right hand to our shoulder and the left forearm on our thigh. Good. Now, what I'll have you do is take your elbow around in a little circle. Doesn't have to be a big circle, but look up there toward your right elbow. Good. Nice. Feel that roll around in there, circling the elbow, maybe 3 inches, and then go around in the opposite direction. So it's not a super big movement. Yeah, sometimes we just go nice and slow and small. Yeah. Okay. Now from here, we're going to see, can we come on up and slide our left hands? How far can you slide your left hand down? Just getting this stretch on the right side body. Don't overdo it. You have a stopping point and then just stop there. Good. Breathe into the ribs. Good job. And then come all the way back up. We're going to place our left forearm on our thigh, right elbow up. You can have elbow up, hand up, or you can bring your bicep to the cheek. So we're just getting a lot of nice side stretching along those ribs. Breathe into the right rib cage. Good. Move the shoulder, feel that left hip. So pull that shoulder back. Nice. Now come on up. We'll take it to the other side. So left hand to the shoulder and look up at that left elbow and roll it around a little circle, little saucer size circle. Good. Now you might have some popping and clicking. Just move through that. Go the other direction. That's it. Roll it around in there. Okay, and then we're going to come on up and see how far we can lean. So you can hold on to your chair if you feel more comfortable, but just slowly start sliding your right fingertips inside your shin and feel this stretch, the intercostal stretching between the ribs. We want those ribs to be not stiff and tight, but very pliable, very supple, so they can open and close with the rib cage. Nice. Now we're going to come up with our right forearm on the thigh. Now maybe your left elbow is up, your left fingertips, or your arm over the shoulder. We feel that all the way down into our hip. Reach, reach, reach. Good job. Take that shoulder back a little bit. And come on up. And to realign us, because we were side to side, couple cat-cows. So exhale and inhale. Stretch the back, and it realigns us. Oh, good job. All right, everybody. We have one dance today. And this dance moves us through our hips and our shoulders quite a lot. So we'll bring those legs back. This has a progressive movement to it. So the first movement, we'll start with our left leg. It's just stepping the left leg out and back in. But notice how I pick my foot up, take it out, up and bring it back in, okay? So that's first, and then we progress one arm with the leg, like just like that. And then it's two arms and one leg, two arms and one leg, good. And then rotate our side to side. It's Happy Together, the song. And so we have a part of the song which has a Scarlett O'Hara move. So Scarlett O'Hara, remember, she was always just like, oh, Rhett. And then, you know, she was just flummoxed, right? She was so hot. When you be hot in all those clothes. So exasperated with Rhett all the time. So take the back of your hand to your forehead and just let that arm fall. And then the other hand comes up and we let it fall. Lift and fall. And what it does is it just puts that shoulder back in its socket. And we also have our hitchhiker thumb to open up the shoulder. And this goes right along the beat of the music. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Pull it all the way back and then Scarlett. So bring your hand to your forehead and lower it. And then we go to the other side. We pull it back 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way back of the hand to the forehead and let it lower. Then we're going to use both thumbs up, hitchhiker. 1, 2, 3, 4. But instead of Scarlett, we round our back like cat, hug a tree, and then pull hands to hips. Good. Again, all the way out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Open up, round and hug, and then pull your hands to your hips. Good. And then it's me for you and you for me. No matter how they toss the dice, elbow kisses, it has to be the only one for me is you and you for me. So happy together. All right. And then we'll repeat the legs out and in. And at the end, we'll do 2 crisscrosses where elbow comes to the opposite knee, elbow comes to the opposite knee. All right. So this is Happy Together. I think you'll really enjoy this dance. It's a fun one. Sit at the edge of your chair, grab your water, and we'll dance it out. All right, here we go. This is by the Turtles, by the way, if you're not familiar. All right, sorry, there's a couple things I have to click before I get this going. Make sure you can hear it. Yes, okay. Hang on. Find it, share, dance. I finally organized all this, so it's much easier to find. There it is. Okie doke. I'm going to turn it up. I apologize if it's a little loud, but I just want you to make sure everybody can hear it. And here we go. All right, get ready. Left foot first. Right foot. One arm and leg. 2 arms. Get happy. Good. Again, one leg. 1 arm, one leg. 2 arms. Happy. All right, left hip tiger. Here we go. Hold that. Hold it. Stop. Good now. Hold that. Hold it. Good time. Now me and you. Combo kisses. The only one for me. Let's go. Happy together. Right arm. Here we go. Hold that. Silent. That time. Hold that. Silent. Me and you. Elbows. No matter how they toss the dice, it had to be. The only one for me is you, and you for me. So happy together. Both arms. How we go? Hold that. On the big beach ball. Hold it. All the way down. Big hug. Hold it in. This time, that's your leg. One leg. One arm. How they toss the dice, it had to be. The only one for me is you, and you for me. So happy together. Happy together. All right, get ready. 2 crosses. Here, right, 2 and 2. 2. Good. Now, here, up, pull, down. Well done. That was a good stretchy one, wasn't it? All right, I'm so happy you're here and that we're together. So let's sit up tall, get some water, sit at the edge of your chair. Remember, we do those dances for our brain work. You did so great, as always. Oh, that got us a little cardio effect, huh? Okay. Whew. Breathe into the rib cage. Notice how your breath is. A little cardio is good for us. It just keeps our hearts working just enough. It's very low impact. We're in our chair. Keep that breath expanding those ribs. Though. I want you to think about that throughout your day. Not just breathing into your chest, but down into your ribs. When we breathe into our chest, the diaphragm and the ribs don't work nearly as much. What does work are the secondary. So the diaphragm and the intercostals are the primary breathing muscles. The secondary breathing muscles are the neck and shoulders. If we're solely chest breathers, not taking the breath to the lower lobes of the lungs, you're overtaxing neck and shoulders. And you might have more tension here because of that. And you're going to get stiffer here in the rib cage simply because you're not utilizing this area like we could. All right, let's go ahead and sit all the way back. Right leg, plane and flex that foot. Let's take the work into the lower leg. Good job. How does that feel? And let's take it to the left side, pointing and flexing. Just flare out those toes. Nice work. And then right foot, let's circle through the ankle, round and round. We'll circle the opposite direction. Good job. Let's take it to the left. Circle, circle. Good work. Go the other way. Nice. Now let's take both feet out in windshield wiper. So the legs go in and out. I like this one for moving that femur head around in its socket. So the pelvis gets a little workout. You can take them both directions if you like. And then circle out both ankles. Let it pop and click. Let's let it all get lubricated. Roll it around the opposite way. There we go. And then both feet point and flex. This is some quad work right here, keeping those legs out there for that long. You're doing great. Nice. Now let's circle a little bit with those ankles and swim our arms. So we have to think about the arms and the legs want to match, but if you circle your feet and swim, that's hard, isn't it? And then do the opposite. Yeah, circle around the opposite way and swim your arms. Oh, we have to think about that. That's a lot going on there. The core is really working. Good job. Let's take all of that out. Whew, good work. Okay. Let's sit at the very top part, midway of our chair, with our feet flat. House those sit bones. Can you feel them? Feel equal weight on both sides, pretty neutral in that pelvis, tall spine. Hands at the heart. We'll take that big sun circle. Look up, see our palms touch overhead. And then cactus arms here, pull the elbows back and hinge forward. So about 45 degrees, strengthening the back. Hands to the kneecaps, forward fold. Inhale up halfway, pull those elbows back. Exhale, take your forward fold. Right arm comes up halfway or up toward the ceiling. And then release it. Left arm halfway or all the way up. And release. And then use your core and your feet. Inhale, big sun circle back up. Palms touch. And then hands come right back to the heart again. And then we'll take our circle overhead. Find a cactus, elbows back and lean. Look at your feet, see that your feet are parallel, toes straight ahead, hands to your kneecaps, slide forward comfortably. Inhale, pull the elbows back, strengthening our backs. And then exhale, slide forward. Left arm comes up this time first and release. And then the right arm, nice rotation of our spine. That helps to move that fascia too. So inhale up. Look up, hands to our heart. We have just one more like that. So arms out and overhead. Cactus, lean, use your core. So here we feel those lower abdominal, lower back muscles support us. Hands to our kneecaps. We slide, stretch it out. Pull up, strengthen it. Good job, guys. Slide again. Right arm comes up. You choose how high, but spread your fingers and look at your thumb. Release that arm, left arm up, spread the fingers, look at your thumb and release. Now inhale, arms up and overhead. Let's get thumbs to touch and then come back to cactus. Scoot forward a little bit if you need to so you can touch the palms, the elbows, catch your back. Inhale, cow, look up, flare those elbows back like you're flying big wings, right? Now from here, you're going to take your left hand to the right shoulder, right hand to the left shoulder, and twist again with your head straight on. This is a really nice one to not only to release that fascia around the ribs, as I said earlier, but to stretch the neck. Good job. Now back through center. Inhale, arms overhead. This time, index fingers touching. Where are they? And then come to cactus and swoop in. Elbows and palms touch, and then look up, elbows flare back. Lead with your elbows. See if they can touch here, and then stretch back. Good job. Now from here, airplane wings. Left arm comes up. We're going to lean to the side. Good. And then right arm comes up. Lean to the other side. Excellent job. Nice. Here, arms up. Find cactus and plug the elbows down toward the rib cage. Good. Arms out in front. Now here you've got coffee and tea. You're going to take it out to the side. Oh, feel that stretch of your back. Now elbows come away from us and arm bones back. There you go. Really lift that chest. Hug those elbows in, palms out in front, flip them down. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway, strengthen. Exhale, fold. Now come on up. Take those arms, wrists in line with shoulders, and then we're going to lean forward with holding an imaginary ball. Lean, lean, lean. Now lift the heels up, toes down, press the toe ball mounds. Good, lean a little more, fire up that core, then lower the heels and lift the hands and come to cactus. Let the shoulder blades glide down the rib cage. Elbows come as close as they can to the ribs and arms out in front. Good, take your hands side to side, elbows out, upper arm bones back, squeeze, lengthen. Good, hug in again, arms out in front. Twist to the right with your elbows hugging your ribs. Inhale, center, twist to the left. Inhale, back to center, flip those palms, forward fold. Come up again, arms out in front, wrists in line with shoulders. Lean, lean, lean. This time we lift the toes, rock to the heels, spread your toes nice and wide, even wave those toes. Good job. Now maybe the big toes touch the floor, but the other toes stay up. And then the other toes to the floor, the big toe up. And then all toes down and arms overhead and hands to the heart. Last one like the first one. So arms overhead, cactus, and lean. Good. Feel that back get so strong. Hands to your kneecaps, slide and stretch it back out. Inhale, every back bend strengthens us. Every forward fold stretches us. Let's take that right arm up. Oh, such a nice twist and release it. Left arm up. Good job. Now inhale, arms out and overhead, and exhale the hands back to your heart space. Mountain pose. I want you to check your feet, check your posture, right? Make sure you're sitting up nice and tall. Feel the sensations of your body. Shake your feet here, shaky, shaky. And then I want you to place your hands on your knees and lift one heel and the other. We call this the pony. It feels good around the ankles. It moves our calves so the calf muscle presses on the veins, and that sends blood back up to our hearts. Pumping that blood helps us with dizziness. So if you tend to go dark or feel odd when you stand up, try this pumping of your legs first before you stand. Good job. Okay, so we want to come up into our blast offs. The most important thing, it's not about how high you come off your chair. More important is how you're structurally aligned. So let's have our ankles under our knees and the big toe in line with the ankle. If you need help coming up, we swing our arms. That helps, gives you momentum. If you want to challenge, crisscross your arms. If you don't want to come up at all, squeeze your gluteals instead of standing, and that will be nice glute work. Whichever you choose, just make sure those legs are nicely aligned. And today, let's do 10. So we'll count down from 10. So here we go. 10, nice. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one, everybody stands up and says blast off. So come up, say blast off, and have a seat. Oh, excellent job. Have some water. So we do those blast offs to strengthen our quadriceps, strengthen our knees. But if you have knee issues, you can always just squeeze the gluteals instead. That works the same set of muscles as standing and sitting. Let's go ahead and come on up to a standing position. We'll have the back of the chair facing us. Okay, so standing in our mountain pose, our feet are right underneath our hips and pretty parallel to each other. Like when we were sitting, just lift one heel and the other. So we're prancing here. Such a wonderful strengthener for those ankles. It gets the calves strong, and we use those muscles around the knee, the quadricep muscles that support the kneecap. Very good to do every day, especially for better balance. Now, if you find your rhythm, maybe you want to do that little swim out in front. Put a little coordination to that, a little extra upper body movement. There you go. Find your rhythm. Excellent job. Now, let's go ahead and lower both heels. And when we come up to the tippy toes, we're going to take our right arm up. This really helps us strengthen our spine. It lengthens our spine. Look up a little bit. And then release your hand, lift those toes and tuck your chin. Stretches the whole back body. And then left arm comes up, we're gonna look up. This stretches our front body, lengthens our spine, strengthens the muscles that line our spine. And then hands down, heels down, lift your toes and tuck your chin. Good. Do that one more time to the right. This time add a bit of a back bend if you can, lean back. And release, lift your toes, tuck your chin, and left arm up, maybe leaning back a little bit. Wonderful, feel that nice back extension. Lower your heels, lift the toes and tuck. There you go. Okay, shake out those legs. Now, I want us to work into our hips and move around and lubricate our hips. Bending our right knee for hip mobility. Start small, and then if you feel like you can go larger, roll around. If you have a hip replacement and this is not in your range of motion, please skip this one. Good job. Go around backwards. So we get synovial fluid out of the capsule into the cartilage of the hip joint. So we're hydrating, we're lubricating, we're moving the fascia around in here. Excellent. Now let's take that right knee, bend it, lift and lower the right knee. So the thigh comes parallel, hinging here in the hip, side to side, strengthening the gluteal medius, minimus, and abductors. All the muscles we need to strengthen for better balance. Nice. Now go ahead and step your foot down. We're going to take that leg out to the side. So right leg out to the side, shoot that right arm out too. Tap the left hand, find your balance, and maybe take your left hand in front of your chest. Hold, flex that right foot, breathe. Good job. Release and ski that out side to side. So we're going to do the whole series to the other side now. So we even it all out. Shake out those legs. And bend that left knee. Start circling towards your chair, small first. And if it feels okay, you can start to take it a little larger. Nice. Make sure it's in a pain-free range of motion. And start that backwards now. Roll it around, circumduction. The hip is designed to move this way. Good job. And then those little fire hydrants, lift and lower. And maybe place your hand on the muscle group where you feel that. The hip stabilizers. Just using our body weight to get nice and strong so balance is more accessible to us. Now stand on your 2 feet. Take your left leg out to the side. Stand on your right leg. Shoot the left arm up. And this is falling star, working our balance. Tap this right hand. Hover. 1 finger challenge. Play the piano or right hand in front of your chest. For 3, 2, 1, and ski. Oh my. Toning those hip muscles takes hard work. Super important to get that nice and strong in there. And shake your legs. And let's stretch our back and hips by marching. Marching is a good thing you can do. You're home pretty much during your day. You don't get out walking around a whole lot. You can just march right here. Close to a chair. If you're not real comfortable with your balance, just have something handy. Piece of furniture will do. And that gets the blood flow, the lymph flow, just like when we march seated. Good. Okay, right here at the top of our chair, right foot steps at the leg of the chair, left foot at a little 45-degree angle, and hands to our hips. You can have one hand on the chair if you like, but if you can, hands on the hips, and bend and straighten that front leg a couple of times. Each time the right knee bends, it tracks the second and third toe. So we can see that big toe very clearly. A lot of us have a weak tendon inside of our knee. It's the medial tendon. And when it's weak, it's not supporting the knee, and the knee kind of wants to go toward the big toe side, but we want to press the knee more toward the second and third toe and strengthen that tendon. So it helps support the knee. Good. Now, go ahead and take that knee, bend it, second and third toe, hands back to your chair, left arm coming up. Good job. Now, your right hand can stay on the chair or it can come to your hip. When we lift the left fingertips to the sky, you're stretching your left hip crease, the hip flexor. If you want even more, lean over to your right. Really get that big stretch there. Good. So this tight hip flexor can affect your walking gait and make you take little steps. This helps open that up. Nice. Now place your hand back, left hand back on your hip and take a little peek over your left shoulder. Good. Let's come back to center and stand up to mountain and shake out those legs. Good job. Left warrior one. So left leg stays at the chair, right foot steps back. It's at a little like 10 o'clock, right, or 2 o'clock, depending on how you're looking at that. But same thing, bend and straighten the left knee. You can have a hand on the chair. You can have your hands on your hips. But remember, if I looked at you from the side, we want to see ears and shoulders on top of each other and then right on top of those hips. So meaning try not to jut your head forward. No jutting our chins forward. And as we bend that knee, I want you to feel the opening of the right hip. Good. We sit a lot and that gets tight. Okay, bend the knee. Now, right arm's coming up. If you feel like you need your left hand on the chair, feel free to put it there. As we lift that right arm all the way to the ceiling, we'll stretch the hip crease. Even more is to lean over to the left. So just keep your left hand on your hip to support you. Yeah, and then right hand comes back to your hip and take a little peek over that right shoulder. Good. And then back through center, hands to your chair and step forward and march again. So some of us have sciatica issues, and when the muscles compress or the bones compress on that nerve, we have a lot of nerve pain down our leg. One of the things we can do is take our legs out to goddess position, hold on to our chair, and take a slide down imaginary wall into goddess. Lower 2, lift for 2. Some of you might want to continue holding your chair. Others might want to try balance. But remember, those knees, take them back toward the pinky side, not the big toe. So what we're doing is stretching and kind of strengthening, getting this hip mobility and giving space for the sciatica. Good. So if you sit or drive a lot, you're probably tight in this area. Do the best you can, lower as you're able. Very healthy squats. Good. Good job. Come on up, shake it out. And let's do our tree pose. So remember, balance is exceptionally challenging for you. Crossing one shin in front of the other really helps stabilize us. We want the 2 hip bones straight across and in the same plane as the pubic bone. So we're nice and neutral here. See, when you cross your leg, just give it a try. It's really stabilizing and it's very easy to take tree here. That might be what you want for today. If you want to try a little more, you can take your arch and your ankle together or possibly your arch to your calf. But let's not hike that left hip up. So it's straight across and try not to take your sit bones back. When our pelvis is neutral and our chins are back, will balance so much more easily. Left arm, it can be a cactus, it can shoot up. A right hand can do a little tap, one finger, hover, or maybe it comes up a little higher. You choose and play where you'd like that, right? Maybe you've come out of balance and that's okay. You can even step down and come back into it. Try not to grip your toes a whole lot. Instead, use your pelvic floor, use your abdominals, find a focal point and breathe. If we stay for about 5 cycles of breath, we start to strengthen our bones, helping osteopenia and osteoporosis, limiting the symptoms of them. Good. Breathe deeply. Strong bones. Good job. Hands to our hearts. Shake that out. And we're going to try it again. So let's take it to the other side. Remember, if balance is a real struggle, this crisscross is very firming. Really hold you in place. But if you want to try a little more challenge, get even more. It doesn't matter where you put it, it's just where you feel challenged, right? Maybe this time, if you feel okay and you want to play a little bit, you can come out of balance. And this is our safe laboratory where we can create some muscle memory of what happens if we lose our balance. What happens if we go off center? Can we train our bodies to be comfortable and okay with that and rely on those deep core muscles to bring us back to balance? So we play here because in life it happens. We come off balance and we've already done it. The body says, well, we know what to do. We practice that, right? Good job. And then stand tall. Any player you want to place your hands. You don't have to have them where I have mine. Any old placement will do. Breathe, focal point. Yeah, let's get those strong bones. And hands to the heart and kick out. Beautifully done. All right, let's come to our chairs. Okay, let's just take that right foot out in front of us. Right leg out. Flexing our right foot, hinging forward. You may hold your chair or just place your one hand on your knee and the other hand on your toes. Breathe here. Good work. Feel the stretch of your back, your hamstring, your calf. And let's come on up and switch sides. So the left leg comes out and we're hinging forward, stretching the hamstring, stretch the back, the calf. When we stretch the calf, that leads to the Achilles tendon all the way into the plantar fascia. All that connects by connective tissue. Now let's come on up, take our right ankle to the left ankle or all the way up to the thigh. A little trick for the piriformis muscle is to lift and lower your knee. So remember, 20% of the population, that sciatica nerve runs through the piriformis muscle. It's a muscle we sit on a lot, unfortunately. So if you're sitting on it, it's tight, then, odds are you're going to probably feel that sciatica nerve in there. So this just helps loosen, soften the piriformis muscle. It can get stuck tight, and then there goes that sciatica nerve, right? So then we can take your hands to your chair, lean with our chest, come forward. Ooh, good job. Breathe here, flexing that right foot. And then if you want to bring your hands to your thigh, you can. Just make sure you have a deep breath. Arms out, hold it out there. 3, 2, 1, and release. Take it to the other side, finishing up right here. Just lift and lower that knee a couple times. Noticing how that feels in the muscles or in your glutes. So the piriformis runs horizontally within the gluteals. And then hold your chair and lean forward. Another big stretch there. Breathe. 3, 2, 1, and come on up. Hold that out. 3, 2, 1. And last thing for your connective tissue is ladle. I want you just to know all the things you can do to open up your rib cage. Stir your big pot. It's at thoracic lumbar. Go around the other way. Thoracic lumbar fascia in the back. It's a big diamond of fascia. Good job. This just helps stretch that back tissue. Good. Really helps with a lot of back pain. Hold your label and just go around in a big circle. Excellent job, guys. Just a couple cat-cows, back and forth. Good work today. Hope you learned a little bit more about that rib cage area. Sit tall, roll your shoulders back. Notice how you feel, how you're breathing. Inhale, arms overhead. So grateful for our community, our yoga poses, and our healthy bodies. Take wonderful care of yourselves, and I'll see you again Thursday, everyone. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for joining. Fabulous day.
Bye, Mindi.
Thank you, Mindi.
You're welcome. Good day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hope your backs feel really good today.